when the driver maintains a 45-degree angle to the wind, what's going to happen, Sky, if, as the driver, and you're going to drive the boat at the start, you point too close to the wind like that?
You'll lose speed.
You're going to lose speed, and what's going to be happening to the jib? What's it going to, the front of the jib's going to luff. What are you going to do to fix it?
Head down.
You're going to head down until that jib refills with air and the power comes back. So sail trim when you're sailing close haul, which we'll be doing on this beat, it's pretty easy. Pull them in tight, lock them off. Now there's little adjustments we can make to the sail trim when we're sailing close haul, but that's the basic sail trim, sails in tight. A little bit different than when we're sailing on a beam reach. How do those sails look, David, for a beam reach?
Pretty good. Need to be in a little bit.
Yeah, they need to be in. I would say that this main would start to fill. Right now it's luffing right about that angle, and this jib would fill right about at that angle. The way we teach it here is that when you're sailing along on a beam reach, the driver is usually heading for a specific destination, say a tree on land that he can see off in the distance. And then if the sails luff, because the wind direction changes, say the wind goes forward a bit, what's going to happen to the sails now, Sky?
You're going to luff.
They're going to start to luff, and who fixes it then, the driver or the sail trimmers?
Driver, if they're heading towards that tree.
If they want to keep heading towards that destination, the sail trimmers would bring the sails in. So the driver could certainly correct the sail trim by changing their course. But comparing it to sailing close haul on a beam reach, the driver drives a straight line, the sail trimmers ease the sails out and trim the sails in according to changes in the wind direction. One of the most interesting things that we worked on last time, I'm going to flip this upside down. So now we're sort of oriented, so we're on the boat and we're sailing downwind. There's the beam reach. What point of sail is that? Anybody? Yeah, it's broad reach because the wind's coming over the quarter. And that's a great downwind angle to be sailing on a boat that doesn't have a kite. If we were sailing from Meadow Point to West Point, we might be sailing about on an angle like that. Everybody agree that's about a broad reach? Mm-hmm. So the challenge in sailing downwind is that if the mark is downwind, the perfect course is straight downwind towards the mark, right? That's the shortest distance.
Yeah, that'd be kind of tricky though. We have to watch for accident.
You've got to watch for accidental jives. What's happening to the jib right now if you're sailing dead downwind like that?
Being blocked by the beam.
Yeah, it's being blanketed, and what you'll see, especially in this light breeze, is that jib is just going to sort of droop and swing into the middle of the boat because with the wind from dead behind, it's not getting any wind. It's blanketed by the main. What could you do if you really wanted to sail on that dead downwind course? You could go wing on wing. You pull the jib out to the opposite side of the boat as the main and sail like that with both sails now pulling. And that sometimes works really well. It's definitely worth trying. People say that in light breeze, sailing dead downwind, wing on wing is really slow, but sometimes it works a little bit better than you might expect. One of the things that happens is you've got the sail plan sort of balanced. You've got a sail on the left side of the boat pulling you along, sail on the right side of the boat pulling along. And sometimes when that sail pops full of wind, the jib, those two sails being on opposite side of the boat just seem to settle the boat into a nice groove. But in general, when you're sailing when it's light wind, sailing dead downwind is pretty slow. So what would a better angle be, Sky?
Broad reach.
Yeah, broad reach. So if we're heading downwind to a mark like this, could sail dead downwind right at it. That would be the shortest distance. But because dead downwind is slow, Sky is suggesting we sail on a broad reach, build up our boat speed, and go a lot faster than sailing dead downwind. What are we eventually going to have to do, Sky, if we're sailing on a broad reach to a downwind mark? We're going to have to jive. Boom, like that.
So would you like broad reach a short distance and jibe back and forth, or go? Seems like if you're, going a longer distance, you'd get further away from where you're supposed to be going.
Yeah. It all depends. Just like on an upwind leg, you could tack every minute and go the same distance. You could also sail on a long starboard board all the way out to the ley line, and then tack and sail on port tack and make it to the mark. It's going to depend upon what the wind and the current is doing, and we'll talk about that. As far as sailing downwind, there's our broad reach. And here's what we'll see out there is we'll want to try to stay on that broad reaching angle. If we see the jib start to